Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to a very rainy New York City. Let's do a quick audio and visual check. So if you guys could hear me and if we are starting the live stream in 1080p, just give us a thumbs up in the chat and we will get started here shortly. We're reporting live from the corner of East 30th and Lexington Avenue. It's going to be a rainy night. Crappy weather in New York City. We'll get started here in just a moment. Right. So good evening, everybody. 2023 or 2024 rather. Trust everybody as well. We're starting off the stream at the corner of East 30th and Lexington Avenue. We'll go a little bit further down here. We got the shelter there. We'll try to get away from that. But yeah, it's a very rainy and nasty sort of day in New York City. It's been like this pretty much all week. Let me just make sure I turn on the do not disturb mode. Now it's funny. So every time I usually go live, I get sort of like a wave of texts and even calls. It's funny, and these are from people that I've been trying to reach all day, pretty much. I don't know why people like to do business late at night. Anyway, so guys, it's going to be a shorter than normal stream. Apologies for yesterday. I had a team event, our annual team dinner at the Kirsten Jordan team. So I was attending that, which was a great time. It was awesome. We sort of did a recap of the year and a very, very, very successful year here at the Kirsten Jordan team at Douglas Elliman. When obviously many people and teams were down for 2023, right, in terms of real estate transactions, we were actually up significantly on the year. So hopefully we can carry that momentum into 2024. So again, short stream tonight. It's going to be rainy, misty. I'll probably have to wipe the camera lens quite often for the live stream tonight. It's one of those nights in New York where it's not raining hard. It's like this misty rain. So it's kind of, the rain hits you from all angles. But we're going to be talking about a few things. Now, as you know, next week is the last and final week of January. It's kind of crazy, I understand that. But even more prolific than that, this is going to be the first FOMC meeting of the year. So the first Federal Open Market Committee meeting of the year. We're going to be hearing from Fed Chair Jerome Powell himself as he gives us an update on monetary policy. Is the Fed going to raise interest rates? Are they going to cut rates? Or are they going to leave rates steady? Well, we'll find out. January 30th through the 31st is the FOMC meeting. We're going to hear the speech as well as that decision. Now, if you look in the chat, if you scroll up a little bit, I posted the CME Group Fed Watch tool as we're looking at the other side of Madison Square Park. CME Watch tool, essentially pricing in no hike at all, a pause. Just a quick review, the Fed funds rate is in a range of 5.25% to 5.5%. So take advantage of that tool, look at it as, we are going into some interesting territory for 2024 with elections and the like. Plus, in addition to that, we have the continuation of earnings season. Now, we pretty much are gone and done with for the major investment banks, right? The major banking institutions in which we did a in-depth review of Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase and the like, Bank of America. Now we are getting into big tech earnings. So if you think about the growth drivers of the market, right, the largest companies in the S&P 500, you have Apple, you have Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta, and you have Alphabet or Google, which we'll be reporting here shortly. We will be covering all of that and more throughout the week, right here live on Walks and Wall Street. A few quick announcements. Last Thursday, I did email everybody the first, or I should say the second, I believe, issue of our free financial newsletter, the Behind the Street newsletter. We did an in-depth dive of the major bank earnings reports. We talked about the Federal Reserve and monetary policy. And next week, so this Thursday, we're going to be sending out the newsletter again. So if you haven't received the last one, just go ahead and check your email, or you could scan the QR code on your screen, and that is going to be sent out to everybody this Thursday right as the market closes. You're not going to want to miss that. If you can't scan the QR code, just type !news, NEWS, in the chat, and the Nightbot will drop the link to our Substack. But with that being said, let's go ahead and say hello to everybody in the chat, as I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, and we will get started. So I see D is here. What is going on? Western Mass Dave himself. God bless. Good to see you here on East 23rd Street and Lexington Avenue. I see Sharon, Michelle Henry. Welcome, welcome. Michelle K is here. Duda, welcome. Lang, Lance, the tech guy. Zozo Bob from Miami, Florida. Romaine, Estelle, Sunshine After Rain, all of our good moderators. Austin City Limits, Crypto Meme, Dennis the Menace, and more. All right, let me go ahead and remove this QR code out of your way. It's kind of a cool night to be walking around New York City because it looks very interesting. Now we're standing right on Lexington, and look at that shot all the way up to the Chrysler building that you see right here. Hopefully, fingers crossed everybody, this weather just moves on out of here. I mean, my God, it has been the same thing almost every single day of this week. It's been gray, it's been overcast, it's been rainy, but not like downpouring rain, kind of like this rain. So the umbrella doesn't even help. You just get totally soaked, and I can't really do too much about it. I'll try the best I can today, but all right, let's head over to Park Avenue and head back uptown. I really want to explore the Hudson Yards tonight. We haven't explored the Hudson Yards in a really long time on the live stream. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that tonight because it may be a little bit too windy. We'll see. Hey, Beyond the Matrix is good evening, Tom. Long time no see, by the way. Trust you're well. Hopefully, you're doing fantastic. Yeah, Lee's is, I can smell the asphalt through the screen for sure. Now, I spent the majority of the day today actually in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Let's actually cross. And it was just horrible weather, but it was a very, very good turnout for the open house. So as you know, we are leading sales on the Conover. So 199 Conover Street in Red Hook, Brooklyn. It's a beautiful 22 unit condominium development, and we just listed the penthouse on the market. It's just under 1,700 square feet of interior space, and it has 850 square feet of exterior space on the roof. So the penthouse, we listed it for $2.6, so $2,600,000, but in the sales price includes the sauna and the cold plunge. If you want to see a video tour, I filmed it and I sent it out to everybody in the newsletter. If you type !news, NEWS in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link to that video tour. But tomorrow, I have to be up very early. I have a meeting on Park Avenue, and then I have to go back to Madison because we have a closing. I got to go to the closing for one of the 2-bedroom units in the Conover. So things have really been picking up in the real estate market in New York City, which is good. So fingers crossed, the other unit that we're selling, which is on 23rd Street, that is in contract, and the close date is set for February 15th. So fingers crossed there. Hey, Daryl from Chicago, Illinois. What's up? Very cool. Elias, good to see you. Johnny Rockberry says, good evening, Tom. Hope you have been having a nice weekend and a successful one. Likewise, my friend. Hopefully you've been having a successful weekend too. Very quiet New York City evening. So we'll go down to 23rd Street and then we'll sort of make that loop back up 8th Avenue. And that should bring us smack dab in the middle of 34th Street, Madison Square Garden, as well as the Hudson Yards. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about though tonight is if we go to the Hudson Yards, the winds may be like 30 miles an hour. So I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to hear anything. Lena Sandoval, welcome. Good to see you. Trust you well. Now we're coming up towards the old Credit Suisse. So as we know, Credit Suisse, is now no longer, right? They're a part of UBS. And that was when all the Silicon Valley Bank contagion effect sort of swept through the banking sector. Let me just make sure I have my Wi-Fi turned off. Hey, Joe Rats, this is Tom. I do, yeah. Joe Rat says I made too much pot roast. Do you want the leftovers? I do want the leftovers. If you want to bring it to the city, let me know. I'll be at 575 Madison Avenue all day tomorrow. So, yeah, I'll take you up on that offer for sure. Might as well. Oh, we didn't talk about futures. I was in my apartment. I quickly took a peek at futures. I think the S&P 500 E-mini futures contract, ES, is up about a point, so pretty much flat, right? Also, NASDAQ 100 futures, NQ, is about flat. And the Dow 30, the YM E-mini futures contract is also about flat. I'm not too sure what the bond market is doing tonight. It's very busy, so for all of those who want to find out, just go to cnbc.com/bonds. Hey, Cheryl Gay, this is real estate picking up fast here in Southern California. I'll be in Manhattan March 1 for a few days. Oh, Cheryl, cool. Now, fingers crossed that the weather is going to be much improved at the start of March, because you know, it hasn't been the temperature that's been very taxing here the last week in New York. The temperature's actually been quite moderate, to be honest, in the 40s and in the 50s. But I don't remember the last time I saw the sun. So I landed last Sunday morning early at JFK, coming in from Miami. And in Miami, every day was like 75 degrees and sunshine. And I don't think I've seen the sun since Thursday night, or since Saturday night in Miami. So yeah, hopefully by the time you come here, it's great. Sean says, Tom, what is the best rooftop bars in Miami? Is Watzer any good? I have no idea. I'm not a big rooftop bar guy, but I will give you this recommendation. I was out with a buddy in Wynwood. Anybody familiar with Wynwood, Miami? My God, has that place changed. Now, I'll tell you the reason why I was there, okay? As we're coming up on 23rd Street and Park Avenue. Now, if you look to your right, this will be Madison Square Park, the Flatiron Building and the lake. And then to the left, which is where we're gonna go, I'll show you the listing that I just put into contract that will hopefully close. But the reason why I went to Wynwood with my friend is because Joe's Pizza, the very famous Joe's in New York, opened up a location right in Wynwood, and it is very good. Now, I'm a big fan of Miami, okay? So I don't mean this by any disrespect to our Miamians in the chat, but I've never had good pizza in Miami. Just saying it, just throwing it out there. I have never once had a good slice of pizza in the state of Florida, for that matter. But when I went to Joe's, I was like, wow, this is much needed. And that, I think the pizza place is gonna do absolutely phenomenal and crush it. So that's a little bit of a PSA, public service announcement, for anybody who's making a trip to Miami, Florida. If you want some good New York City pizza, well, they finally got it. And it is Joe's right in Wynwood. Now, this is Gramercy Theater right in front of us. Carter says Wynwood is popular for sure. Yeah, and there's so much new development too. Sean says, yes, Wynwood is a neat area. Oh yeah, I totally forgot what I was supposed to be telling you. We went to this rooftop style bar. I don't know what it's called, but it was beautiful. And if you send me an email, I will get you the name of that. I will get you the name of that 100%. I'm gonna be wiping the camera lens every 2 seconds tonight. Hey, Lee, what's up? Says, I'll fix that. Yeah, Lee, next time I'm in Miami, I'll have to shoot you a text. You could show me some of the good pizza spots, but I've never really had good pizza in Miami. Although, I'm from New York, and the bar is set pretty high, right? And besides, when I go down to South Florida, I'm not like, oh, I'm in South Florida, I gotta get the pizza. It's not what I do. You know, you wanna get the Cuban food, you wanna go to a nice, you know, Argentine steakhouse or something like that. It's just, it's different. You don't go to Florida to get pizza. Anyway. All right, everybody. East 23rd Street and Lexington Avenue. You see a very, very cool view of the Chrysler building in the distance. And this building right here is CUNY Baruch College. So Baruch. It is a very well-known school for finance, which makes sense because Bernard Baruch is, regarded as one of the most successful stock market operators of all time. So this CUNY school is very affordable because it is in the City University of New York, or the CUNY system. New York State really has two types of public colleges and institutions, right? Number one, you have the SUNY, which is spelled S-U-N-Y, which stands for State University of New York. So I think a couple of those include like SUNY Cortland. They're like way upstate New York. Very good schools, very affordable for New Yorkers. But chances are if you're from downstate New York, like Westchester County, obviously New York City, Nassau and Suffolk County, you're probably more familiar with CUNY, which stands for the City University of New York. You have four-year colleges and universities, and then you have your 2 years, right? Like Hostos Community College, BMCC. And right here, we are on the campus of Baruch, which you could probably argue is the best of the CUNYs, particularly for finance. I went to CUNY John Jay College, which is mainly for forensic science, criminal justice. I believe back in the day, John Jay College used to be an all-male school for the NYPD Police Academy. Ooh, the wind is really picking up here. But everybody, check this out. We're standing right across the street from 139 East 23rd Street. So this building right here. Now, it's called Gramercy North. And every single unit in this building is a full floor apartment spanning just over 1,500 square feet. Now, Unit 2 at Gramercy North, we just put into contract and it is closing on February 15th. It's going to be Unit 2 right here. Now, the unique thing about the unit is that not only does it have the 1,500 square feet of interior space, but it also has 580 square feet of exclusive outdoor space. It's a beautiful patio, right? So you can put like a pergola out there or whatnot. The building is almost completely sold out. And if you want to see a full property tour, I filmed it and I put it up here on the YouTube channel at Walks Wall Street. If you type !23, so !23 in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link to the property tour of this unit. You can see what it looks like. That was just put in contract, and hopefully the deal will close on the 15th. But let's head out of this neighborhood because 23rd Street is very windy because it's a wider block. Greg says, how much was that going for? $2,495,000, which was actually the least expensive unit in the building. We kind of put it out there as a loss leader, and there was a lot of interest in it. A lot of interest, and I'm very, very happy for the buyer. The buyer is a very, very nice guy, and it was a joy working on the deal. You know, a lot of deals are not so let's say fun to work on, but this one was extremely fun to work on. It was a good deal for all parties involved, and those are the best deals, when the buyer feels good about it, when the seller feels good about it. So all good all around. Crispy says it's an amazing apartment. I appreciate that. Yeah, and the developer is, you know, in full disclosure, I do work for the developer as well. The Colonnade Group, Stefano Forsura, very talented developer from Italy. A few of his projects, if you're interested, obviously here at Gramercy North, but another really good project is 75 First Avenue. So 75 First Avenue, amazing views. It's in the East Village, so a little bit far, but very cool project. Now, the broker leading sales on 75 First Avenue is Serhant, a good friend of ours. but we do compete, right? But Ryan Serhant is a very, very good friend, particularly of Kirsten's, right? They were co-stars on the show $1 Million Listing New York. If anybody's ever seen that, that is who I work for. Hey, general knowledge. Haven't seen you in a long time. It's good to see you here as well. Welcome to a very rainy New York City. So, yeah, Greg says, wow, about $1,200 a square foot, including the outdoor space. And that's a good deal. It's a very good deal. Some pockets of Tribeca are going for like $2,000 a foot plus. It just depends on the desirability of the neighborhood, but I think that's a good deal. If you look at the other comps in the building, everything's been going for like 2.6 and above. So we'll see. We only have unit 12, unit 14, and unit 15, and then the whole thing is sold out, which is good. I know, Cheryl Gray says, yeah, people see the shows on TV and then think the real estate business is so easy. Yeah, it's definitely not. Definitely not. Hey, dude, this is Tom. How long did you bag this job coming from tech sales? Oh, how did I get the job? Hold on, let me wipe the camera lens again. It's going to be one of those nights, everybody, where we're going to be doing windshield wipers on the camera. I think there needs to be an invention where you have like windshield wipers for the camera lenses. Hopefully, as we make the right corner here by the Flatiron building, we'll be good. Pineapple Water says, ugh, Ryan, arrogance at its finest. He's not, though. I mean, it's, I'll tell you this. He couldn't be more of a nicer guy. And he's built an amazing business, a huge, successful, monstrous business. But everybody, I mean, my experience with him has been amazing. He's a great guy, super knowledgeable, and really wants others to succeed, which is great. Because there's some brokers in New York City that are kind of snobby, but I've noticed the brokers that are the most successful, they don't view other brokers as competition. They all work together on deals, if that makes sense. So chances are, if there's a big deal that is being done, at least one of the big brokers were involved in it and they help each other out. So I've had nothing but a good experience. Now this is the Empire State Building right here. Let's get off at 23rd Street, just because it's like a wind tunnel here. Hopefully the microphone isn't too bad, because I forgot the external mic. But how did I get the job? Well, you're right. I was in tech sales for about a decade. I was selling software and traditional telecom like SD-WAN, wireless. And I used a lot of the money that I made to invest and acquire real estate and just invest in general. And my main goal is I want to develop. I want to develop buildings in Manhattan and in Miami. So I thought this would be a perfect fit, because not only is Kirsten, has one of the most successful sales teams in the country, does a ton of business in Manhattan. Her husband's a developer. So it was a perfect fit. So I do some analyst work on some of the deals, condo conversions. So I work on that side and then work on the sales side too. So, and I have a presence in Miami, and that's where we're trying to go. So it's good all around. Good all around. It's a fun job, tough job, but it's fun. I think anybody who is wanting to go into real estate sales, particularly in New York City, I would say maybe do something else first, right? Because obviously you don't get a salary, there's no benefits. It's just eat what you kill. And that's kind of hard to do in Manhattan when the average rent is $5,000 a month. So what I've noticed, right, a trend, a lot of the successful brokers had previous careers in like investment banking, right? There's a lot of top brokers at Compass that were like ex-investment bankers, people in tech, private equity, and that's I wouldn't say easy, right? But you have a knowledge of the market, you're very, very skilled, and you have an expertise. Also a lot of ex-wealth management people. So you've made money, you have some savings, chances are you have investments, and you have a book of business, potential clients, right? But I love it. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. It's definitely difficult, very challenging, particularly on the residential side. It's very emotional. And I'm not really used to the more emotional aspects of a sale. Chances are, if anybody's watching this in tech sales is not very emotional. The people you're dealing with, particularly like engineering side, it's very just analytical and just what makes the most sense. And residential real estate sales isn't necessarily all about the numbers. And if you've been watching Walks on Wall Street, the only thing we really talk about is the market and numbers. But in the New York City real estate market, particularly in the luxury section, it's more of a concierge style sale the higher up you go, because chances are a lot of these customers and clients already have money, they're already wealthy. So in every deal, it's not necessarily looking to get the best deal, it's how can you check all the boxes, right? Does it have parking in the building? Does it have separate entrance for, our staff? Like all these type of things that I would have never really thought about before. It's more of a wants, and can you get me a property that checks every box? And if you can, I'm gonna find somebody else that can. So maybe I'll try to do that, but shift more on the multifamily side. So work with some investors who are trying to buy buildings in Brooklyn to renovate and rent. But the emotional aspect is interesting too. But oh, look at that dog. Nice. I know Zozo Bob's real estate is very emotional for a lot of people, and I totally get it. Like, I totally get it. It's a big purchase. Chances are it's one of the biggest purchases you're gonna make in your life. But I would say the only thing I wasn't super prepared for is at the very, very high end. Here's the list of everything exactly what we want. And oftentimes it's things that aren't even on the market. So you have to have a very, very high knowledge base of all the buildings in Manhattan and bring deals to these buyers, right? It's what can you bring me? So a lot of the big transactions aren't even done with units that are on the market. These are just off-market transactions. Brokers know product and they place buyers in the product. So hey, love the beach. What's up? Just evening time and chat. I wish I was at the beach. Oh yeah, yeah. Cheryl Gay says, then you work your ass off and the whole deal falls apart. I've had that. Oh my God, I could tell you crazy. So I've only been on the team for about, what, a year and a half now? I can't even believe it's been that long. But we had a deal in contract. It was actually unit 2, by the way. That same unit that's in contract now. It was in contract. Well, let me just wipe the camera lens again. And the buyer walked away from the deal and just forfeited his 20% deposit. Now do the math, 20% on $2,495,000. That's not a teeny tiny bit of money. So, I mean, I guess it's good for the sponsor, the developer, because, you know, he gets to keep that money, but we don't get any of that. Yeah, it's true. Zozo Bob says upper income buyers do have the money to wait for what they want. Yeah, and a lot of times, like the very, very high end, what I've noticed, you need to bring them stuff, right? Because anybody could just go on Street Easy, Zillow, and look for product. But you need to be in tune with the market, know all the top brokers, and know all the buildings, and know the people in those units to bring those off-market transactions, right? That's kind of how you could add value. Hey, Susanna Q4, what's up? Welcome. Now we're transitioning into Koreatown now. We're gonna make this left on 32nd Street. Ooh, look at this. I sometimes just like looking at all these cool furniture stores. Yeah, Cheryl says, or you're just about to close and the grandkids set the house on fire. Jesus. I have, I haven't heard about that one. But, you know, my first little deal that I did, it was this nice couple that wanted to rent their duplex in Brooklyn. So I was like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. Because our team mainly specializes in, you know, luxury section of the market. Man, I'm freezing here. But I was like, all right, I'll do it just to kind of, you know, get through the ropes. So I took all the listing photos, did everything, you know, got ready to list it on the market, and we listed it. What was that? We listed it, and I was going to meet a client there, right, just to show it's like a little $4,000 rental. And when we walk in, it's like a waterfall. Apparently, something happened. There was like very, very heavy rain. All of the drains backed up, and there was like a foot of water running all the way down the stairs of this duplex. And obviously they had to pull the listing and get everything repaired. And that was literally my first time ever showing anything. It was just like 2 feet of water in the entire apartment. So fun times. Look at this. Whoa. Anybody know why the Empire is lit up in red? You can't even see the spire because it's so cloudy and so misty out. That's a pretty cool shot though, isn't it? Look at that. Very cool. What do you guys think of the Empire State Building? Okay, so Johnny Rockberry says maybe it's the 49ers and the Chiefs. Dan Sang says the Chiefs versus 49ers at the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, that's coming up, right? The Super Bowl. Very cool. So the Chiefs are what? Kansas City Chiefs. And the 49ers are California, right? San Francisco? Which, by the way, San Francisco is not going through too hot of a time right now, but I'm very optimistic on San Francisco, as many of you know. Many of you disagree with me, but I think once you have new leadership in the state of California and in San Francisco specifically, that city's gonna come screaming back. You know, talking about residential real estate, look at the residential real estate prices in San Francisco, California. I mean, that has been taking an absolute tank for obvious reasons, right? The rampant crime, drugs, the heroin, opioid crisis is really just taking over that city. But I think once you get new leadership in there, that city is going to scream back. So my prediction is anybody who's sort of, buying in San Francisco right now, I think in 10 years, you're going to look like a genius. You're going to be rewarded in a very, very big way, in my view. So I think San Francisco is one of those cities that sort of has that staying power, kind of like New York City, right? You have San Francisco, then you have the Valley, Silicon Valley. It's a big tech town, and I don't think that's ever going to change. The talent there is just way too much. So, and people picking up these projects or these properties at, ridiculous discounts, I think they're going to be rewarded in a major, major way. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these live streams every night starting at 8:30, unless we have some sort of event to attend to or something. Michelle Henry says a company would have to pay me a ton of money to move to California. Well, the good news is that some of the most highest paying jobs are in the state of California. Now, I've never really spent a lot of time in California, but I think we could all agree, like if we put politics aside, I mean, California is one of the greatest states in the United States. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful place, particularly Southern California, right? Beautiful weather, beautiful beaches, beautiful people, right? If we could say that, are we allowed to say that? I think we're allowed to say that. It's just a crazy, awesome place. I think it's just gotten a little bit too over the top with some of these, policies that are destroying some of these great cities in California. Now, that's the good news is that's something that could be easily fixed, right? And I think the voters will decide that they've kind of had enough of the craziness. And I think California, specifically cities like San Francisco, are gonna roar back in a major, major way. And maybe I'll even be in Southern California sometime in my life. Look, I've said this before, look at how big this boat is. I wonder where this guy's coming from if he has a boat in the city. I think there may have been a boat show at Jacob Javits Center. Look at that. It's like a big fishing boat. But yeah, anywhere it's sunny and it's beautiful and it's gorgeous every day, I'm in. I would not mind living in San Diego, California. I would not mind that at all. This is the observation deck at the Empire State Building. They actually have a model unit of the Empire inside here. Cool, right? Joel PM says the boat guy is leaving for Florida. Possibly. Now my buddies that live in Miami have been sending me videos all week. How they're walking downtown Brickell, downtown Miami, and it's sunny, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous out, all week in New York City. It's like you're living inside a cloud. Like, that's the only way I can explain New York City right now. It's like, it's not that it's raining, it's that you're kind of living inside of the cloud. So even if I had an umbrella right now, it would provide no protection from the rain because we're inside the cloud, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, cool. 222 ain't. This is hello from San Diego. Very jealous. I'm assuming it's picture perfect weather, as always. All right, here we are at the Herald Towers. And then right across the street, you have the Macy's. You guys want to see if the internet will work down underground? What do you think? Should we venture underground? I think we should take the risk. We'll take the risk. If something bad happens, we'll blame it on Dave. Yeah, these are the new subway entrances. You just tap to pay now. You don't even have to swipe. Just all tap to pay. How's the internet holding up down here? Good, bad? What do we got? This is the 34th Street Herald Square subway station. It's actually not too bad tonight down here. Yeah, everybody's so you could see the MTA installed all these cameras here for the fare evaders, but kind of like that. I feel like sometimes in New York City, I'm the only one who pays for the subway. I feel that sometimes. All right, I think we're buffering, so we'll head up. So we've officially teleported all the way from over here to 35th Street. Yeah. So apparently the MTA, in order to stop the fare evasion, right, so people jump in the turnstiles, they installed these new type of MTA turnstiles where it's a gate. So when you click it, the gate opens. But apparently, there's been videos, and there was a really good video put out by one of my good friends, Safat. Really good guy, great videographer. He runs the channel New York City Walking Show. You got to check out his latest video covering sort of the new turnstiles that the MTA put in. And this was supposed to be to stop people from jumping the turnstile, but in my view, and according to the video, it's kind of made it easier for people to evade the fare. Because as you tap your phone to scan in, the gate just opens, and then there's like 1,000 people that just charge in after you. So I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna fix that. So if anything, from watching those videos, I think the city made it worse. I think. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but it's funny. I'll be rushing to an appointment or rushing to a showing, and I'm like fumbling to get my phone out of my bag to pay the fare. And then it's just like everybody just is either jumping the turnstile, going through the emergency door. And I'm like, you know what? If I jump this turnstile right now, I'm probably going to get stopped and get a ticket. You know, that's kind of how life works. So I just like, I feel like I'm the only one who pays it. It's crazy. Anyway. No way. I want to be GMO says each one costs $1 million to install. I don't know about that. That's crazy. Each one is $1 million to install them? There's no way. Now, if that's the case, there's probably some corruption going on, because that's ridiculous. It costs $1 million to install now. I hear some interesting screeching coming from yonder. I think he stole this guy's rickshaw.
What is wrong with this, son? What is wrong with this nigga, son? What is wrong with this nigga, son? What is wrong with this, son? What is wrong with this?
All right, let's head up towards Times Square. Now, the building to the left, there used to be this company in here, and I think they're actually still there. It's called Third Bridge. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with it, but Third Bridge is similar. They're like a consulting company, so they'll reach out to, you know, working professionals that are experts in their particular field, and they'll connect them with institutions, hedge funds, family offices that are looking to invest in those specific sectors. So if you, let's say, if you work in software, or you work in telecom, or you work in fintech, the company will reach out to you and say, hey, I have a family office in, I don't know, Malaysia, that's looking to make a big investment into the fintech space. You know, would you be willing to consult with the client? And the payment, the rates are actually pretty good. The hourly rates are actually pretty decent. Hey, Paul Williams says hello from Memphis, Tennessee. What's up, Paul? I'm just gonna put you guys down on the table for a moment just so I could zip up my jacket. Wow, Lee says the installation costs about $700,000, but commuters are already finding ways around a newer system. Yeah, that's insanity. It's insane. Now, since sort of shifting gears, since Tesla took a massive hit after their corporate earnings report, which we covered here live in the live stream, Elon Musk is no longer the richest man on earth. It is Bernard Arnault of LVMH. So LVMH, they own like Louis Vuitton. They now own Tiffany as well. Moet Hennessy, mega brand. And I was reading an article, and apparently he set up a trust for his kids, and there has to be full board approval and has to be unanimous approval for his children to ever sell a share in the company. Because a lot of times when you have inherited wealth or inherited money, and you know, the kids are kind of just handed everything. I don't think that's the case here. Obviously, they work in the business, they're very diligent, they're very smart. You know, you could have very wealthy kids that blow through their trust, and then, you know, they've never been learned to be self-sufficient. So, you know, it goes downhill quick. So, Bernard Arnault is very, very focused on ownership. Right, owning things for the long term, owning big brands for the long duration. So if it's good enough for Bernard Arnault, I guess it's good enough for all of us. Guys, check this out. Joe's Pizza, here since 1975. They just opened up a location in Miami, in Wynwood. It's very good. I think they're going to do great in Miami. I think Miami desperately needs very good pizza. And there's also a lot of New Yorkers. Chances are, if you're from New York, if you're from Long Island, or you know, even the city, you probably know somebody who lives in Miami, or vice versa. So check it out if you're there. Hey, yesterday 15, what's up? This is Hey Tom and chat. Good to see you. Thanks so much. Hey, Ken Brockton. Hopefully you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Excuse me. I know, Western Mass Dave says that's crazy, your tax dollars are wasted. Well, the problem is this, the way it works in the city, the way it probably works is a lot of contractors, you go out for bid. So a little bit when I was in tech sales, I was working on some public sector deals for a little bit. I mainly did enterprise sales. So I was selling into, you know, large Fortune 500, Fortune 50, Global 2000. But you know, the public sector deals are very, I mean, my God, are they laborious. And the reason is because you have to go out for bid, right? You know, you have to do the request RFPs, the request for proposals, and then you have to go out and bid on all these deals. So there could be a little bit of corruption involved there, right? The same contractors getting the same deals. I'm not saying this is the case, by the way. I'm not saying this is going on. But maybe a contractor that's doing all these MTA installations, maybe they know somebody in City Hall that got them the job, and they're getting kicked back on the other side. Because, look, I'm no expert, I'm not a construction guy, I'm not an engineer, but it should not cost $700,000 to install a subway turnstile. I think we could all agree on that unanimously. So, I'm not saying there's any corruption going on, but, I mean, dude, I don't think it costs 700 grand to put turnstiles in the subway. Maybe I'm wrong, who knows? Hey, Carl Roth, what's up? This is Tom. We are excited for the upcoming week, both for the markets and for business. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy week, wild week. It's going to be the first FOMC meeting of the year. So we're going to hear from our good friends over at the Federal Reserve, Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Pretty excited for that. We're looking at One Times Square. That's where they dropped the ball on New Year's. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. Also, this Thursday, right as the market is closing. We will be sending out our second issue of the Behind the Street newsletter, which is our free investing newsletter, where we cover the US equity markets, emerging markets, fixed income, and more. We're going to be doing a big breakdown on earnings season. So if you want to be signed up to receive our free newsletter, you can scan the QR code on your screen or type !news, NEWS, in the chat, because there's going to be a lot to talk about. Okay, we have the FOMC meeting, we have big tech earnings. It's going to be a lengthy one. So check it out on Thursday. Wow, hopefully everybody's all right. All right, you know what I think we should do? Apparently there's this new NYPD robot down here in the underworld in Times Square. I think we should venture into the subway system. Hopefully the internet will hold up. And let's see if we can find the brand new NYPD robot. That probably cost $2 million. All right, let's go. Let me know what you guys think about the internet. So maybe we could have 2 or 3 people in the chat. Just keep us updated on the internet situation here. So this is where they get the shuttle to Grand Central Station. Right down here. No, let me see if, well, you know, it's Sunday night. We'll have a good time. Give me a minute. Should we buzz in? Let's see. All right, we're in, everybody. Let's find the robot. It's usually right over here. Now, usually they have the NYPD robot right here. Well, it looks like it's not here tonight. Here, uptown in the Bronx, 1, 2, and 3. Now, again, I'm not too sure how the internet is going to come out, but let's look for the robot down by the N train, and that will take us over to the A, C, and E trains. So let's see. Elias says it's off duty. Yeah. Let's look down here. We'll see if it's, let's see.
Attention everyone. Any trains are not running between 39th Avenue and 57th Street 7th Avenue.
So it's not here either. Yeah, maybe it's out of commission. Maybe it has off on Sundays. Who knows? But I guess it's cool to, you know, show you guys what goes on down in the subway. We'll look in one more spot and then we'll head out of here. We'll go over to the BDFM. So that's on the all the way on the other side. This is kind of like by Bryant Park. So just to give you an idea, as we walk down here, this is going towards the east side. Yeah, no, it's not here. Oh well, at least we looked. It's usually here. I've never not seen it here. Maybe it's maybe it has PTO. It's off on Sundays. All right, so we'll go back and we'll head out on the one train side. But what do you guys think overall of the subway? What's up? This is Times Square, 42nd Street. This is a live look at what it's like down here. It's actually not too bad tonight.
Attention everyone. On the express track between Times Square, 42nd Street and 14th Street in the scheduled lanes. The local service taking 243 trains.
Peters's looks cleaner than I expected. Honestly, Times Square is not that bad for the subway because it's a very, very trafficked station. The worst subway station I've been to, in my view, is actually in the 20s on the Green Line, like 28th Street. All right, let's head out here. This is the newer entrance. This is going to be 43rd Street and Broadway. Not bad, right? Well, if you guys like that exclusive NYC subway tour, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Oh, you know, Kenny, I think it is. Kenny says this is where Jimmy Fallon and Green Day played their subway concert. Close. I also think, who's that other musician that played there? Ed Sheeran had played in the subway too. I like Ed Sheeran. His work is pretty good. Oh my God. However, it's loud down there. That's the only thing. Especially with all the people, you know, performing and the guys screaming. It's good to be back up ground. This is by the NASDAQ. We'll take a look at the NASDAQ right now. and we'll take a look at the Bank of America Tower. Hey, Tariq Khan, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, Kenny says Green Day is a rock band. I like Green Day. I think they're from the UK, aren't they? Green Day? A lot of good songs. That's way back in the day, though. All right, so tomorrow, everybody will be live right here for Squawk on the Street. You can see all the ticker symbols in the back. This is the studio. So if you ever watch like CNBC's Fast Money, Squawk on the Street, it's right here. So you'll see Andrew Ross Sorkin and all those guys and gals here tomorrow. Brooklyn Diner here. Kenny's the rain stopped. Well, the rain didn't stop. It's still like misty. I'd much rather have it like a downpour than what it is right now. Because even if you have an umbrella right now, you'll still get soaking wet. That is one Times Square where they dropped the ball on New Year's Eve. Cape Cod Sarah says, Tom, what's the best and least thing you like about New York City? I like the fast pace of things, and I like the opportunity. I think there's unlimited opportunity in New York City. What I like the least about it is over the last, I'd say, 4 years, the city's been in kind of like a structural decline, unfortunately. But I think we are at the trough. And I think we're going to be on an upswing now. The city's gotten dirtier, it's gotten more dangerous. You know, maybe you don't notice it on the live stream because I try to avoid those particular pockets, those areas, but being out and about it every day, it's, you know, it can wear on you a little bit. You know, just seeing the humanity of things, like people, you know, shooting heroin and then they're all, you know, strung out. It's sad to see on a daily basis, but I think it's going to get a lot better. I think the city's going to change. So, but I still think there's unlimited opportunity here. But the city goes through cycles. New York City is very cyclical in that regard, right? The city's been through much worse. There just needs to be more law and order. Now, since I've been taking the subway a lot more, I used to not take the subway at all, but now that I'm out, you know, showing properties, it's at least 4 times a week that I run into horrible experiences on the subway. Like where people, you know, are getting in, and it's always the trend I've noticed, not to be negative, but it's a lot of the people that have very severe mental issues, right, which is so heartbreaking and sad. They have these horrible outbursts on the subways, and they always target women, you know, get in their face, intimidate them, you know, have these crazy outbursts. I was in a horrible situation just last week about it. it's just, you know, and I know these people don't mean to do it because they have, you know, a mental issue and they can't get the help that they need, unfortunately. But it's kind of like playing Russian roulette. That's how I explain it to some of my friends. We talk about it. You know, if you get a crazy person on your subway car, 99.9% of the time, they're going to be fine. They're just going to be smoking a little weed, you know, maybe smoking a little crack, but keeping to themselves. But you just get that one person who just loses it on the subway and just goes berserk and, you know, picks a fight. And I know they don't trying to do it intentionally, but yeah, I think that's the kind of thing that I don't like about it. But the good news is that's all fixable. Like, that's not going to be here in perpetuity. And I've already seen the city starting to improve. I think the mayor's office is making a big push to try to make an impact and improve it. And I've seen it. I've seen things improve. An example would be Washington Square Park. Washington Square Park used to be not good. Pretty much just a drug den. The city cleaned up the whole park. It's great. So as long as you're making progress, it's fine, I think. Yeah, I know. Western Mass Dave says it's tragic that mental illness does not get enough attention. Yeah, I mean, and that's the big problem, right? Because that's really, it's not necessarily policing. Yes, you need to enforce the laws. Yes, you can't be lackadaisical on the laws, but I will say this. It's very difficult to set a precedent if it's impossible for these people to follow the laws, right? Because I see it every day. They have very, very severe, you know, mental health issues, which I'm very sympathetic for. It's horrible, but they can't get any help, right? They can't get any treatment, and they're just left to roam the populace. So it's tough. It's tough. And the city will even tell you, if you look at the crime stats, the vast majority of the crime, particularly retail shoplifting and all that, is done by like 100 people, right? So that's a problem. Cheryl says we have a lot of homeless and mentally ill in downtown San Diego. Yeah, it's not just a New York problem, right? I think it's a US problem. And a lot of it stems from the fentanyl that's coming in over the southern border, right? Not to get political. I respect everybody's political beliefs, but that is what is causing a lot of this, right? And you don't have to be homeless. You could be a normal person working a 9-to-5 job, making a good income, and you know, next thing you know, you're dead with this fentanyl. Next thing you know, you're an addict or you're hooked. Because essentially what it makes you, right? And I studied this stuff a little bit in college. The fentanyl really makes you incapacitated, where you can't hold a job, right? And once it gets in your life, it's not something that you could kick, right? A lot of people say, oh, you know, just quit the drugs, don't do drugs. It's not a choice with fentanyl, in my view anyway. And I'm probably one of the most, you know, self-responsible, it should be self-responsibility people going, right? But with fentanyl, there's no choice. It's once you're hooked, once it's in your system, once it's in the neighborhood, it's like a virus, and it spreads, and it's horrible. So that's the big issue. All right, guys, this is 42nd Street. You have Salesforce Tower, ticker symbol CRM. This is Mark Benioff's company right here. And right next to it is Brian Moynihan's company, Bank of America Tower. Pretty cool. Daniel says, I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I 100% agree with you about the fentanyl problem. Dude, it's crazy. And just the opioid crisis in general is insane. It's nothing like I've ever experienced. It's just absolutely insane. Yeah. We're coming up on the back of the Stephen Schwarzman building, the New York Public Library. And it looks like they're taking down parts of the Winter Village at Bryant Park. Look at this shot. This is a cool shot here. It's a cool outlook. This is 1114 Avenue of the Americas. Isn't this a cool shot? It's a cool building. It's even a better shot here because you get the reflection of Times Square. Walking Minnesota says, are you a Sweet Green fan? Not personally. I'm not a big salad guy. I really don't like salads. But Sweet Green, which I think we covered before, they are going all in on robotics and AI. Speaking of San Francisco, I think one of Sweet Green's first, they're calling them like their ghost kitchens, is going to be in San Francisco. So if you go on YouTube and just type in Sweet Green Robot Kitchen, essentially the customer just walks in, they order their food on the kiosk, and the robots make the food. So there's no employees on the assembly line. It's literally the robots making the food. And we talked about this before, how that's really going to balloon gross margins and profitability at a lot of these companies. They'll probably do the same thing at Chipotle. Yes, Sabrina Fair says, don't like salad. What? I'm not a salad guy. I just don't like salad. I don't know why. Now here's the way I think about it. It's actually a pretty good segue because Chipotle is right here. You know, a robot gives the same exact portion every time, right? It'll give you 1 scoop of rice, you know, 1 scoop of chicken, and it'll make sure the portion is exactly what it's supposed to be. But if you have humans working the assembly line, like the Chipotle, well, maybe they give you a little extra. Maybe they give you a little bit less. You know, if you times that by 1,000 stores, that's a lot of money that the company loses. So if you think about profitability, little changes like that really add up at scale, right? So if you have 1,000 stores, Chipotle stores, and let's say you get 1% better at each store, I mean, compounded out over 1,000 stores, I mean, that's a lot of money. So I think these robot kitchens are going to do really well, in my opinion anyway. Hey Todd, what's up? Paul Williams says, what about the jobs that they will be taking away at these ghost kitchens? Yeah, you know, we sort of talked about this before. I mean, my take on it, and obviously we all have differing opinions on this, but my take is that if you look at the adoption cycle of any new and emerging technology throughout history, it's met with extreme resistance at first because people are like, oh, it's going to kill all these jobs. It's going to, you know, eradicate all these jobs and put a lot of people on the unemployment line. But what actually happens, right, is people learn to adapt, and the technology creates, on average, 3 times the amount of jobs it destroys. And this isn't from me, this is a McKinsey study from a big consulting company. And, you know, think about all of the jobs, and we've explained this, you know, talked about it a lot of times, but think about all of the jobs that people have now that didn't even exist. Like, you couldn't even name them back in 1990, right? Or the early 90s, or even the late 80s. You know, people are software engineers now. People are Salesforce administrators, right? You know, people are solutions architects, web designers, digital advertisers, digital marketers, software salesmen and saleswomen, right? So there's so many jobs that these new technologies create. And I think it's going to be the same thing with robotics and AI. It'll destroy a ton of jobs, but it's also going to create probably, you know, 3 times the amount of jobs, and we can't even name the jobs because they don't exist yet. And many people will say, okay, well then what jobs would they be? Well, my answer is we don't know. We literally don't even know what it will be, right? Because the technology doesn't exist. But it's coming, in my view. All right, this is a cool shot of the Chrysler building here, right outside Grand Central Terminal, Grand Central Station. Yeah, Todd's just look at the business models like Sears and JCPenney's. Used to be big driver retail sales for those companies, but the interwebs destroyed that, for sure. You know, I gave Todd a few nights ago, I gave the example. One of my good friends who I worked with at my previous company, one of his first jobs out of college, he's an older gentleman, really nice guy. One of his first jobs out of college was selling advertising for the Yellow Pages. I mean, think about that. Selling advertising for the Yellow Pages, which essentially is the physical phone book that used to be delivered to all the businesses. Is anybody here old enough to remember using a physical phone book anymore? I mean, how many of you on a day-to-day basis use a phone book, right? Google and the internet totally disrupted that. So, I mean, there used to be hundreds of people in the office selling advertising for Yellow Pages. They're all out of work, right? But they've gotten more lucrative jobs selling software, right? That's what my friend did. So there's tons of adaptation, right? I mean, think about all of the people who are selling, you know, like cloud computing for Amazon AWS and Microsoft Azure. You know, those, I mean, if you are good at your job, those are, you know, $300,000 plus jobs, right? Working as a salesperson for AWS or Azure or something like that. So Todd's is used to deliver the Yellow Pages when I was in high school. Funny. I mean, look at all the jobs now. I mean, some people run like Airbnb businesses. There's no Airbnb. That's a new thing. Only in the last, 15 years. It's
Grand Central Terminal. Thank you for your cooperation.
I know Gadot says people don't realize hundreds of billions of dollars worth of social media is due to ads revenue. For sure. I mean, a lot of people like to hate on our good pal Mark Zuckerberg, but let me tell you this, and I think a lot of small business owners in the chat can attest to this. Mark Zuckerberg, in my view, has done more for small business owners than anybody on this planet. Many people run small businesses solely off of Facebook and Instagram advertising, and they make really good livings and fortunes. I mean, think about all of like the restaurants, how, hold on, let me just plug in my phone. I don't want it to die. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Gotta charge up the battery. All right, we're good. Yeah, but I mean, think about how many of you, right? Who here in the chat has seen, you know, like a Facebook advertisement or an Instagram advertisement for a local restaurant, right? And you saw somebody make like a reel or something like that. And then you went to the restaurant. You know, I mean, the reach is just insane. And especially a lot of these digital advertising structures. Let's say if you run like a little knick-knack shop or something like that, you make blankets and hats. You know, people run Facebook advertisements and they drive them to their Etsy stores and things like that. So not only does that drive Facebook advertising revenue, it also drives revenue for the small businesses. So it's a totally different world. And I think the world is going to continue to adapt and change in the next 10 years. So. Hey, J49, thank you so much for your kind words. I appreciate it. Daniel says, I really want to design and customize clothes and create a shop on Etsy someday. For sure. Yeah, and I mean, the barrier to entry is zero. I mean, all you need to do is just go to Wix.com, right? You create a $10 website and you're in business. And you can pretty much be selling whatever you want. It's crazy. The, you know, the startup cost, the barrier to entry in this, you know, capitalistic game that we play in the United States has gone to zero, right? All you really need is an internet connection, a phone, you know, code a simple website. And you don't even need to know how to code. A lot of these products are really good, low code or no code, and you're in business. In 3 hours, you're in business. It's insane. Yeah, Tiffany Page's Etsy is absolutely amazing. Right now, you could start a business out of your house, right? Making anything, selling anything, you know, spend $100 in pay-per-click advertising and you're in business. It's really incredible what the new world has come to. All right, let's head back down to 30th Street, Pershing Square. Now, I'll give you guys a little tip, okay? If there's any sort of small business owners out there, or maybe you're even looking to start a business, physically, right now is the best time to do it. And I'll tell you why. Because advertising rates in January and February are the absolute lowest. So if you want to experiment with pay-per-click advertising, the best months to do so, to experiment like crazy, is in the months of January and February, because the advertising rates plummet, they crater. Now, it's very, very expensive to advertise in October through December, because that's like the big holiday season for advertising. So if you're a small business owner, or you're thinking about starting a business and you've never run advertising before because you were just too lazy, you didn't want to try it, go ahead and allocate like a $500 advertising budget this month, and that'll probably buy you like 5 million impressions. I mean, what's a 1% conversion on 5 million impressions? That's a ridiculous amount. So check it out. Yeah, get out. That's true. This is post Christmas. It slows down and then it picks up at Easter. Yeah, you're 100% right. All right, let's head back down to 30th. Oh yeah, D, that's right, we have a leap year. Leap year this year. You know, with all this talk about robotics, it reminded me of when I was in downtown Miami. I should say Brickell, really. A lot of the food delivery stuff now is with robots. So you see these little robots on the ground cruising around. They know how to cross the street. It's the most insane thing. And that's just starting. So in 10 years, you know, maybe instead of walking through crowds of humans, we'll be dodging little delivery robots on the street. Almost back. Man, it must be almost midnight, right? Because we started the stream late, like 9:30. T-Cows is automated sooner than later, for sure. It's 11:22. Yikes. Well, we're almost back to our destination. We'll quickly make this light. Giratz is how's the property prices in Brooklyn this year? And going up? Well, I guess it really depends on the neighborhood, right? Well, look at that view. Pretty cool. There's a crazy view of the Empire. Now, it depends. Things are going really well in Red Hook, Brooklyn, which I think many would be surprised because Red Hook is pretty far away, but you know, we've been closing a lot of deals in Red Hook. So we're back at 34th Street, East 34th Street. And I think this is where we'll end it, everybody. So I appreciate you guys joining the very late live stream tonight. If you enjoyed the stream, feel free to leave a like on the video. Click the subscribe button if you're new. Share the show with your friends. And if you'd like to sign up for our free investing newsletter, we are going to send out our next edition on Thursday. We're going to be covering a lot. So scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email, or type !news, NEWS in the chat, and the Nightbot will drop the link to our Substack. You don't want to miss it. We're going to send it out Thursday. We have a lot of good information in there. And until then, guys, I'll see you. Have a fantastic week. Hopefully this week will bring us a little bit better weather than last week. It was horrible. And I'm wishing you guys all the success in the world. We will meet right back here tomorrow night at 8:30 in New York City. Hopefully no rain. So Abdullah, I appreciate it. Todd, thank you so much. Hal T, Western Mass Dave, D, all of our moderators, Austin City Limits, everybody, take care. JC, appreciate you. We'll keep our eye on Bitcoin this week. Sally, always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. Guys, take care. We'll see you soon.